Well, hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus here with you for Arcadia Economics. It's February 28th, 2022. It's probably going to be on the shorter side tonight, but did want to at least give everybody an update of what I'm seeing. I don't seen a lot of stuff in the last couple of days, weeks, months, and years, and not quite sure what to make of it. But we'll pass along a few things of note. Obviously, I'm sure everyone on the planet realizes now that something is happening in Ukraine. I'll hold aside my thoughts on what specifically is happening. I feel like I'm getting a better idea, but we'll leave that aside tonight. More than anything, I hope everybody out there, you're doing what you can to stay safe. It's not the easiest night on planet Earth. They're not, I'm okay. So you don't need to worry about me. Not been the easiest day here, but I'm sure everyone's going through their own emotions. Saw nuclear alerts raised yesterday as one of the things we'll take a quick look at. Putin puts nuclear deterrent on alert. West squeezes Russia economy, which got whacked pretty good today. And again, as someone who was starting my trading career back on the American Stock Exchange first before moving over to New York Stock Exchange, trading equity options. My first year was 2007, watching things begin to melt down then. That was nothing compared to what I've seen in the last couple of years, let alone the last couple of days. So it seems like things, I don't know, somehow feel a little bit calmer. Maybe it's just the shock of hearing nuclear alerts in this type of situation. I don't know how you're supposed to feel. Like trying to process that as best and still provide any insight that could be of help to people. So anyway, regards to silver, I'm seeing a lot of stuff. I wish I had found more examples, but pretty exhausted and just wanted to get this out. But here, I've not met this fellow Peter before, but derivative implosion coming in a few hours. Expect huge interventions from the private U.S. central bank. Wrong setup. But the idea that I've reached out to this fellow if he's seen anything in particular coming in a few hours. I'm hearing, I mean, it obviously makes sense that, I mean, the thing was already fragile. It's like last month it was Justin Trudeau's turn. Now it's Joe's turn, Joe Biden's turn, which leaves Russian central banks scrambling to buy gold as ruble collapses, which I guess you just wonder who's more well planned out. And this is not taking sides, just trying to think through the situation. But Joe Biden versus Putin, it seems like. Anyway, maybe I don't need to finish that sentence. But here, I guess this caught my eye today. COMEX vaults 1.5 million ounces out of the vault. In a summary, where do we have it here? Basically, it appears the March silver contract was headed for an effective default. In COMEX, the bankers settled about 8,000 contracts with each other to prevent default. I just saw this an hour or two ago. I've not been able to dig in, but I have seen, and again, that's why in the title I said rumors of some sort of default. You know, I'm seeing a lot of comments of this nature in Twitter, which, you know, is not by any means an official source. You know, I don't know that there is an official source, you know, the way these things unfold. But anyway, here's the title of the article, COMEX vaults. You can see it for yourself there. You can go Google that. I'm sure you can find it on Wall Street Silver. And I'm sure there's plenty of comments on this. You can check in and make for yourself what you think of it. I mean, we had the options expiration last week. And my understanding some of the things that happened there is that had the price been above $25 going into the options and then into the delivery period, could have been a problem for some of the banks that were short. The way these margin calls and mark to market works, which is a little beyond tonight's video anyway. So again, we will call these rumors. I've heard people make comments other places. I can't confirm them. So certainly seems overdue. And then when you think with people getting frozen assets in Canada, now Russia. Russia's central bank is going to start buying gold. So you can make your own assumptions of how that filters out to silver. But if you've been following this for a year and you thought conditions weren't ideal last year, these are some of the things that are going on. There's Putin putting on nuclear alert. Here's another thing that caught my eye. I don't have it pulled up, but one of the things that I noticed was British Petroleum basically is saying they're writing off an almost $25 billion loss just because I guess they already know that Joe Biden's side of the story is accurate. They're finished their investigation, and just strikes me as unusual for a company. First, I heard they were just writing it off. Then I heard they were selling it. Now, who exactly are they going to sell that to in this economy? Don't often get answers to questions like that, but that struck me as pretty odd, especially knowing the history of the British Petroleum Company. You guys can find out, look up on your own time what their involvement in Iran was. Mohammed Mossadegh, the Shah that was installed, a whole bunch of other nefarious stuff. A couple decades later led to the hostage situation in 1979, along with that same time period when silver was spiking to $50 then. So I maintain my belief that, having studied the 1980 situation, the price was going to go a lot higher had they not changed the rules. So maybe that was really holding the system in check back in 1980 that was about to break. But anyway, just want to read a few last things. Here's someone who sent in a picture. Nice. There's Silver Squeeze Freedom Convoy. I also hear that there are trucks now, Freedom Convoy, headed to Washington. I see stuff on Twitter. I don't know if that's actually so, but there sure is a lot going on. And I get the thing with the war. My guess is that there's some people who got caught doing some really bad things. I mean, one way or another, but that they're going to do everything to cover it up and just keep digging in the heels, including telling people that the stock market is okay when anyone with common sense can see that it's not, and people are really exposed. And it's I'm here in Mexico, seeing how this stuff filters throughout the world. Lived in Europe before, see how their investors, everyone looks back to the US. It's the land of the free, home of the brave, land of opportunity, justice. I grew up there, and I left because of like the conditions in the US aren't good right now. And I'm seeing what they are elsewhere, and everyone's looking back to the US, which is why it's really tough to see some of these things that are going on. So anyway, thank you, that fellow, and everybody who's standing up for any good people out there. You are most certainly needed now. I had to mention this one. These guys sent me an email last night. I mean, this is the epitome of hypocrisy. GoFundMe invites Ukraine. GoFundMe is committed to helping the individuals and families seeking shelter, security, and peace. Well, anyone who's had their bank accounts frozen for donating to GoFundMe, I wonder how they feel about that. I wonder how Canadians feel about that. GoFundMe, you're absolutely disgusting. In case nobody else has said it, I will. Try not to get riled up tonight. But we will be ending that. I'll be pulling off that fundraiser that we had to take legal action against Ross Benham. Quick update. We do own a 1,000-ounce silver bar in there. And there's a lot of other stuff that we've been doing behind the scenes that you guys will get to see shortly. And fortunately, on the legal front, not going to get into it tonight, but we did have the most encouraging step forward that I cannot wait to share. But we got to do a little more before we can share that. But certainly a positive development in terms of the next step of whenever it's the right time for legal action. So sorry, I can't give more there right now. But anyway, here, breaking news. MasterCard blocks multiple Russian financial institutions from the network. They will feel this one. I would think so. I'm not going to read every story out there. You guys can search for yourself. A lot of stuff like this happening. It's not the brightest moment for the planet. It's not ideal, but at least I guess that's one thing I've thought a lot over the years, that yes, silver is good and that's great. And, it's great if you have some, but even if you don't, and I've had times where I've had silver going into last 10 years has been quite a journey since leaving the corporate world. I had times where it was close to declaring bankruptcy. Thought I was. Life kept me going through that. And anyway, so I know it's not the easiest times for anyone, but hopefully, at least knowing there's others out there, if you're alive and in the chat room, or you can always go to arcadiaeconomics.com. Here's the best way in case no one knows what happens on the Führer tube. But if you come sign up here, that way when we release a video or any news, you can make sure that you can hear it from us directly as we figure out what happens with platforms and all that stuff going forward. Anyway, so we're going to wrap up here for tonight. And I'm not sure when I'll be back this week. Hopefully tomorrow. Just a lot going on. I am okay. And thank you for everyone who's been offering their support. Just a lot of challenges, life and traveling and trying to find a stable home of sorts, which has not been easy for anyone right now. So I just hope you guys are well. Hopefully this was somewhat helpful, and hopefully just I guess maybe part of the show is sometimes just being there. Even today, like trying to digest some of this stuff, which is not easy to get through right now. And then I was always a big sports radio fan. So even if it's just 5 minutes, hearing a friendly, familiar voice, just anything that can help you smile through, and hopefully you guys are having an easier day out there whenever it is that things aren't so easy for whatever you're facing. Hopefully it helps to have some place. And again, I think we have a Discord server. There's a community here. We're getting more stuff up there, but at least if anybody needs anything, hopefully this can be a safe place to do that going forward. So please be safe out there. Silver will happen when it does. And I guess just the best we can do to be a calm voice of reason, so that whenever the insanity ends, we can have something to start rebuilding. So be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon.